In this video, I'll be discussing the ultimate build for those who want to be mobile within the Dead Matter world. I've gone through every development blog and have chosen the best items for players to survive in the world of Dead Matter without claiming a base. This will be particularly useful for players who are playing solo as they are unable to claim bases. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need is a ranged weapon. If you're solo, then you likely won't have access to much high geared loot, so go for a hunting rifle. They are more dynamic in terms of situations which they are usable than a shotgun or pistol. That being said, once you have a hunting rifle, getting a secondary weapon for mid-range combat is always good. Secondly, you'll need a melee weapon. Get a weapon that can easily double as a tool. Disregard knives and other traditional weapons. Instead, pick a weapon that fits your surroundings. If you're spending a lot of time in the forest, pick an axe. If you plan to spend a lot of time in urban areas, pick some lock cutters. Alternatively, you could go for a tire iron if the maintenance of your vehicle is particularly important to you. Speaking of which, there is one vehicle you must prize before any others if you're using this build, and that is the pickup truck. It has the perfect balance of storage and durability to protect you on your travels. As well as this, compared to some other vehicles in the game, it will perform better off-road. As you get into the mid-game/late game, you might want to upgrade a van and use that instead, as the potential storage space is higher for your increased gear, at the expense of versatility and speed. Storage is also important for solo players that want to trade, as they can gather a large amount of a good, such as timber, and keep it on them while they travel around the world. The next thing you're going to need is protection from the elements and the ability to stay hidden from players and zombies. A tent. This is one of the reasons why storage is so important, because tents take up a large amount of space but can be carried anywhere, making them a superb addition to set up hidden bases as you travel around the map. You're also going to need some high-kitted clothing. This is one thing you absolutely cannot sacrifice if you're playing a mobile build. As soon as you get into winter, you'll be among the players most vulnerable to the cold and the wet, so you must make sure you have multiple layers, waterproofs and a hat and gloves, as well as high-level boots whenever possible. Once you're in the mid to late game, you might even want to keep some spare items of clothing in your storage. In terms of food, you have less to worry about than some players, just in case. In the winter, it will get a lot harder to hunt and forage, so it might be a good idea to have some currency saved up so you can trade with NPCs or players that have a greenhouse. You're not going to need a massive amount of ammo, as you're unlikely to be getting into regular combat. If you're a solo, mobile player, then you're probably going to be having the occasional skirmish with other players as opposed to regular battles. As such, you probably only need 2 or 3 clips of ammo, maybe slightly more if you're hunting regularly. The final thing you will need is some emergency first aid supplies. This is essential, as you won't have any other players to help you if you get attacked. You need, at a minimum, 2 sets of bandages and 1 adrenaline shot, but in this case, the more supplies, the better. The final piece of equipment you're going to need is a fire starting kit. Whether you find one or make your own, this will be essential to preparing and cooking food and water in the wild. In terms of your skills, you're going to want to max out any hunting skills as well as your mechanic skills, making you as versatile as possible. In the late game, this means you can also set traps around the forest, catching encroaching zombies and players as well as animals. As secondary skills, it would be a good idea to get good at hot wiring, in case you're in a pinch, as well as the various stamina and strength skills. Anyway, that was my video on the ultimate build for a mobile player. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please consider liking or subscribing, as I'm still growing the channel. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve the quality of my videos or any topic you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in the comments section below. I'll also be linking to my blog in the description, where you can find exclusive interviews with developers about their upcoming games. There's one coming out today, so check it out. Thanks.